Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Representative Pilath. I really welcome the fact that this debate is going to begin now in earnest. But saying something loudly doesn't make it right. Saying something with emotion and getting the crowd charged up doesn't change some fundamentals. What are those fundamentals? What are the basic debates we're going to be having here this year about, quote, stimulus? Well, Representative Pilath stated one of those. Now more than ever, he says, government is needed. There are many who would say government got us into the shape that we're in today, and government isn't the sole solution in getting us out. We do have responsibilities, however. First and foremost, let's balance our budget, let's live within our means, let's not raise taxes, let's not fall into the old trap that we can spend and borrow our way out of the problems that we have as a nation, and especially the problems that we have as a state. I believe we're not there yet, but I believe we're going to look to spend and borrow our way out of this before this is all done. And I think this is where we're going to see some debate and some difference on approach. Number two, jobs. I couldn't be more in agreement with that. And the news today, it's preliminary. These figures are always preliminary when they come out, so we'll have to see what the real figures are, but it's distressing. I agree, Representative Pilath. I just heard it on the way out of my office as well, and it is distressing. And it does tell us that that is where we must focus, on jobs. But saying it loudly won't create jobs. Diverting $1 billion from the best job creation program that this state has seen in decades, as has happened with the current bill, is anti-stimulus, not stimulus. We're diverting funds from the actual construction of I-69. Well, I don't care if you voted for or not. There's plenty of people that don't want that. We're seeing funds diverted from the construction for the first time after debate for 130 years, according to Governor Joe Kernan, of US 31 as a highway between Indianapolis and South Bend, linking two key economic areas in our state. Well, there's a lot of blow about that, but there's some people that really don't want it to happen. We see the suspension of the connection of Lafayette and Fort Wayne and Detroit, four of the biggest construction programs this state has ever seen, and we're turning it towards projects primarily in Democrat districts that didn't make the list last time. Now, I have to tell you, if that is the jobs program you're trying to rally us around and the governor around, let's take a breath. Let's start with something that makes some sense. Let's not just call for jobs and work in a bipartisan fashion, but let's do it. Got a group that gets together, my wife and I, let's call our small group, and we had a big discussion about intention, whether we were willing to be servants in an area that we really didn't want to serve, or whether we were being servants. And we concluded there was a lot of willingness, but not much doing. As people went around and reflected, well, I'm willing to be a servant, but am I doing it? What point am I trying to make here? There's a lot of willingness to be bipartisan. At least we're hearing that. But let's do it. Let's sit down and try to work through the, quote, stimulus package in a way that will really create jobs, not just divert money from existing programs that are on the books with plans to proceed, but no contract in place in the next 5 months, rather than diverting it to programs, some of which are scheduled for 2015 and nobody's put pen to paper yet. A lot have said it's a bargaining chip, and it may very well be. So, one more item. There's not much more than we can do to protect those people that are unemployed, or the rest that are afraid of being unemployed, or those who desire stimulus, than to cap their property taxes today. Why have we not moved that simple measure to give assurance to every one of these additional unemployed individuals, to give assurance to everyone who reads the paper tomorrow that, am I next? That their property taxes will be capped. 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 We all promised it. Cut now, cap forever. We all said it back in our districts. There may be a few who didn't. I see some hands going up. Those words never crossed Representative Fry's lips. He said, up, 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 up they go. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. But most of us said, cut now, cap forever. Well, we did the first part. We're not doing the second. I'm not going to yell it. I'm not going to emotionally say, come on, we've got to charge and do it. I'm not going to call on anyone else to do it. There are 100 people in this room, 85 of whom, maybe more, voted for that cap. Let's move it. Balance our budget, real discussion of jobs, not just spending, and pass that cap. That's the best stimulus we can give for Hoosier taxpayers.